So when you mention deficit, you must be clear and indicate which deficit you're referring to. This government, Mr. Speaker, did not present a budgeted deficit to this House. It presented a current account surplus budget. And it is here, Mr. Speaker. It is here. You go to the document on page 12. Read it. It says, Mr. Speaker, the overall budget summary is as follows. I don't want to point out this one. Current account surplus. Current account surplus of 86.5 million. I first want to thank, or I should say, I want to express and to commend our leader of the opposition for being appointed as leader of the opposition. I think it's the first lady or the second lady. So we see women's power at work in this country. And to wish her best wishes. But I also seek your leave, Mr. Speaker, to place on record the profound honor of this Parliament and of the people of Grenada in paying tribute to 3 local businesses exemplars whose contribution to our country's economic development have been distinguished and outstanding. Mr. Speaker, I refer to Mrs. Lyden Ramdani of St. Andrew, Michael McIntyre, and Royston Hopkins of St. George, all of whom have been called to rest recently. We pray for the strength and happiness of the respective families, and I do hope that one day this country will officially recognize the contributions to our economy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But also, Mr. Speaker, before I delve into the substance of my presentation, there are a few comments I would like to make based on what was presented here by the leader of Her Majesty Opposition, His Majesty Opposition. Mr. Speaker, what was said to this honorable House this morning was that the government has presented a budget deficit, a deficit budget. Mr. Speaker, I ask this question. Which deficit are you referring to? Because there are many deficits, Mr. Speaker. There are many deficits. You have current account deficit. You have primary deficit. You have overall deficit. And there are more. So when you mention deficit, you must be clear and indicate which deficit you're referring to. This government, Mr. Speaker, did not present a budgeted deficit to this House. It presented a current account surplus budget. And it is here, Mr. Speaker. It is here. You go to the document on page 12. Read it. Yes. It says, Mr. Speaker, the overall budget summary is as follows. I don't want to point out this one. Current account surplus. Current account surplus of 86.5 million. Mr. Speaker, let me say this. It is quite acceptable to present to this House a deficit budget, but not a current account deficit budget. And if you look back This House has been presenting overall deficit, Mr. Speaker. Overall deficit budget for the past 20 years. Look back and you will see it. You think, Mr. Speaker, you think I, as an economist, worked in the Ministry of Finance for years, worked at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank for years, as a country economist for Grenada and Montserrat. You think I will ask, or I will allow this government to present to this House a current account budget deficit? Never! See, opposition leader, Mr. Speaker, deliberately omitted to mislead the population and come and tell us we present a budget deficit. We did not. We present a current account surplus of $86.5 million. And that's the truth. The numbers, I'm not lying. They are here in black and white. So that's my first. So that's my first point, Mr. Speaker. After burial, the government has the luxury to relax the fiscal rules so that we can undertake all of the necessary expenditure to build back the economy. And we did. Of course, IMF approved it. But even if we relax the fiscal rules, Mr. President, there's only one rules that was relaxed. One. All the others were maintained. All the others were maintained. And the important one about that deals with your wage bill, that rule is still intact because we have not surpassed. We have not relaxed this one. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is not right to come to this House and speak about fiscal imprudence on the part of us and about fiscal recklessness. We are not by any means reckless, and we remain prudent in our dealing with the fiscal situation in our country. And when there is talk about expenditure is increasing, Mr. Speaker, every expenditure on the current side that you see in the budget, all these expenditures are covered by our current revenues. Understand this, Mr. Speaker. Let me explain this to the population. There is a current account balance. What is this? The current account balance is the difference between your current revenues, and your current revenues are tax revenues and non-tax revenues. And current expenditures, and your current expenditures are expenditures on wages and salaries, current personnel, goods and services, interest payments, and transfer and subsidies, those four broad areas. Mr. Speaker, your current revenues must be large enough to cover these four areas of current expenditure. So when we present to this House a current account surplus of $86.5 million, it means that we have enough money to pay workers and pay them on time and pay them well. It means that we have enough money to pay for our goods and services. It means that we have enough money to cover our interest payments. It means that we have enough money to pay for our transfers and subsidies. And after we have paid all that, we still have $86.5 million left. What do you want better than that? This is good fiscal management, Mr. Speaker. Good management. Let me tell you, that $86.5 million will go as part finance capital expenditure. So we are in fact, Mr. Speaker, covering our capital expenditure in part, yes, because we have a current account surplus. Yes, that's what he must say to this House. Yes. And I'm saying, if the need comes for me to give them a lecture on government fiscal accounts, so they will understand it well, I'm available. Free of cost. Free of cost. So don't come to this House and give the population misinformation. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. I am happy to be a member of this government. And I will tell you why I say that. This government has a philosophy which I admire and which I support. And the philosophy is simple. We are here to improve the lives of our people and to make Grenada a better place to live. And so, Mr. Speaker, this philosophy is grounded in the thought that it is ideas that build our economy. Ideas. Mr. Speaker, every great leap in human progress, from the printing press to the steam engine to the semiconductor, has been driven by ideas. But ideas, Mr. Speaker, come from our people. It comes from the talent in our young people. So we must identify that young talent in our people and give them the opportunity for them to develop that talent, enhance that talent, and make that talent available for our country and for humanity. And so, Mr. Speaker, what we have been doing here, this government, is that we have been creating the opportunity to make Grenada like a big school. Grenada will become a big school, Mr. Speaker, in which the opportunities are available for all to become what they want to be. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, we now have 32 young Grenadians who have been awarded scholarships from the Monroe University. The Minister of Education not so long ago told the nation that 32 young Grenadians. We're going to add another 50 in September. We have 9 young Grenadians right now at the University of Guyana, School of Agriculture, studying agriculture science to come back. We have a young, bright Grenadian right now. He's at the University of the West Indies in Trinidad. He's studying his PhD, full scholarship. He's studying his PhD in soil science. He will soon come back to soon. So, Mr. Speaker, our young people, get it clear. Opportunities are available for you to go and study so you can contribute meaningfully to our country's development. Mr. Speaker, in this budget, the Ministry of Agriculture has $500,000. 2025, $500,000 to work closely with TAMCC to create and to produce the different human resources that we need to develop our agricultural sector. So, Mr. Speaker, I sometimes ask myself where some of us are living. I don't know where some of us are living. Maybe not in this country. So, Mr. Speaker, having said this, I want to present my budget debate as follows. I want to, first of all, speak about the impact of beryl on our economy. I will discuss the developments in the agricultural sector and the fisheries sector. Because they say how nothing is happening in agriculture. Where are you living? Where are you staying? We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about cooperatives. We'll talk about the role the Ministry of Economic Development and Planning has been doing. The Ministry of Economic Development and Planning, which I'm responsible for, what we have been doing to prepare projects and to ensure capital projects are implemented and to build our public sector investment program and to plan our country's economic development. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about tourism, statistics, and what we've been doing in the rural economy. What we've been doing in the rural economy to transform the lives of our people. And then, Mr. Speaker, I will also speak about the blue economy, that new ministry that is created, the blue economy. And why agriculture budget has fallen. Agriculture budget has fallen because fisheries is now part of the blue economy. It is stated in the budget. If you read the budget, you'd have seen that. You couldn't come and say this morning how agriculture budget fall by so much. There's a reason why it fell. Simple as that. And Mr. Speaker, I want to ask you for 15 minutes or so I could speak about my constituents. And they are here. They are here to give me support, Mr. Speaker. Look at them there. They like me. Mr. Speaker, they like me. And they're always there with me. They always there. You see, they come this morning in the large numbers. All of them, they take a picture. So I ask you for some time, Mr. Speaker, to talk about that. So, Mr. Speaker, let's start. After beryl passed, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Economic Development and Planning presented and got approval from the Cabinet to conduct a post-disaster needs assessment. That post-disaster needs assessment will tell us the impact of beryl on our economy and what our recovery needs are. The Minister of Finance indicated that the impact of beryl, the damage of beryl, was $330 million, or 16% of our GDP. And I'm saying that that's the official figure that was approved by the Cabinet. When we're speaking about the damage done by beryl, that's the figure you must quote. 16% of our GDP. Housing was affected by 74%, agriculture 10%, energy 6%, education 4%, wash, which is water 3%, health 1%, culture 1%, and disaster risk reduction 1%. So, Mr. Speaker, having received the official report on the impact of beryl on the major sectors of the economy and the recovery needs of our country, our next step is to develop and implement a recovery strategy. And that recovery strategy is going to focus on resource mobilization, impact management, and investment in resilient communities and infrastructure, resilient infrastructure. So we are planning, Mr. Speaker, in 2025 to organize a donor conference to mobilize resources to identify new development partners. So, Mr. Speaker, I now want to turn to agriculture. I hear so much talk about agriculture. I'm wondering where we stay. Mr. Speaker, we do know that our sector faced multiple challenges in 2024. First half of the year was drought, serious drought. As soon as the rainy season began, beryl passed. Then in November, heavy rains. So we had it hard. Yeah, we had it hard. But we ain't for that. We ain't for that. We put our team together with them. Look back one here. What do you others? Look Kendall there. Look Samuel there. Look Becky and there. Everybody there. They come to give the support. We put our team together, Mr. Speaker. And we put together a plan for the rebuild of our agricultural sector and for making sure that our farmers, Mr. Speaker, were not affected for long, because we recognize that. So, Mr. Speaker, the first thing we did is that we went to the cabinet with a proposal to provide income support to our farmers and to our fisher folks and to others. The cabinet approved it. We said to the cabinet approved that those farmers, and I'm saying all farmers, crop farmers, cocoa farmers, nutmeg farmers, those farmers whose land up to 5 acres would receive cash, $4,500, either in their hand, in the form of a check, or in a financial institution, a credit union, or a bank, where they want the money go. And those farmers whose acreage was above 5 acres would receive cash, $9,000. So we got a list of farmers from registered farmers from cocoa and from nutmeg. This is the list. We have in our ministry a list of registered farmers. In fact, we have 7,334 farmers registered in this country. And the aim was to provide these farmers, all of these farmers affected, because they were all affected by burial, provide them with those sums, as I've just indicated. So, Mr. Speaker, it is true that there are some farmers who didn't get. Not that we didn't get them, it's because they didn't come and collect their check yet. We have checks in the ministry now for them farmers to come and collect. So those farmers who ain't getting money, come and collect the check. The check is sitting down waiting there for you. Good? And there were some farmers, but I don't understand, who told me they didn't hear about the program. Right? So I said, well, you registered? Yes. I said, well, give me your registered farmer's ID. They give me. And immediately, I sent it to my staff in the Ministry of Agriculture to prepare the invoice, to send them to the Ministry of Finance, so that they can be paid. So right now, we have about another 40, 50 farmers who haven't received their money yet, right? Including Kariku. We are sending down your money for you through finance for your payment. So if you know you ain't get paid yet, please come and see us with your farmer's ID. Farmer's ID. If you know you are a farmer and you don't have an ID, go and get your farmer's ID. You ain't taking long to get. Because this will be the last. We're closing the program now. It's about time to close it, so we're closing the program now. Good? So I'm saying to all farmers, if you know you ain't get, some of you met me and said to me you ain't get, can you didn't hear about it? I know how you could don't hear about it. That was all over the place. So, I will tell you, we have given out 1,222 farmers checks on the western side of the country. We have given out 227 farmers checks to get money on the southern side of the country. We have given out 1,322 farmers checks, hotels in the north. And we're giving out 2,130 farmers checks in the east. So of the 7,336 farmers registered, we have given out 4,411 farmers money in their hand. It is the first time the farmers tell me, for Farmers tell me it's the first time in their life they get money from government. First time in their life. And I said to the farmers, do it all the money, you know. I told them, do it all the money. It is not funny. Some money must go back in the land. Go take some of that money and buy fertilizers. Because we have a fertilizers program in the ministry where you could get 50 kilo bag of farmers for $50. So $1 a kilo, extremely cheap. Farmers tell me they like it. They like it because the fertilizer is good. It's real good. It increasing the yield. Good? And some of them, after they received the check, we interviewed them. They said, yes, Minister, we're going to put back some of that money in the land. So, Mr. Speaker, apart from that, Mr. Speaker, we recognize the importance of having food security after burial. And we have in the ministry this World Bank finance, $10 million US, food security project. And I call a meeting with my staff and I tell them we have to move fast and implement this project so that our economy and our culture can rebound as quickly as possible. Mr. Speaker, that project gives strong support for livestock production. I'll talk about that just now, including poultry, pigs, goats, and sheep, together with the. That project will provide farm machinery and equipment. And I will talk about our farm machinery pool in Maribo. And that project also provides for high quality planting materials and support to our fisher folks. I have to commend our ministry staff because we did work fast to implement that project. So, Mr. Speaker, let me tell you what we did. We restored the propagation facilities at Boulong and Maribo. Go there, you will see it. Well restored. 17,500 chicks and starter, grower, and finisher feeds were distributed to over 700 poultry farmers. I was there. I was there giving them out the chicks and giving them the feed one time. I was there. We spent a lot of money to import poor breed animals from the USA. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we brought in, January of this year, 144 pigs, poor breed, 159 sheep, and 161 goats, together with the medicine and the feed supply, including hay, for 3 months. The pigs are at Maribo. I went there. In fact, I was at the airport when the animals came in huge freights, whatever the word is. Good? I was there, PS was there, and all the doctors who would support the program, they were all there. And we watched this animal taken off from the big plane, placed on crate, put on trucks, and traveled to their respective locations. It was a beautiful sight. The only thing, Mr. Speaker, we wanted that to happen in the day, but the plane arrived in the night. So the people could have seen, exactly what we're doing. But it came at night. Right? The police was there to give us the support to make sure the animals were transported safely. So the pigs are in Maribor. You must go and see them. They must look like the barn. First, they're pretty. The goats are in Lara. And the sheep, they're in sautés. And then they're all alive. In fact, Mr. Speaker, they are multiplying. They are multiplying. Good. So when you ask me, you don't know what condition they are in? They are alive and well. And I invite you to go and see them. And I want to give praise to our staff in the Ministry of Agriculture, our doctors, Dr. Cummins and Dr. St. Bernard, and the Dr. Nugent, what's his name again? Bernard, right? And the whole team that put together a program for the reproduction of these animals. So when you ask me about a plan, if there is a plan for the reproduction of the animal, yes, there is a plan. And the plan is being implemented. So in a couple of days' time, 75 livestock rearers in Grenada is going to receive one animal, which they're going to use to breed with their locals. And it will happen over and over and over. So after a 3-year period, we should have enough pig, goat, and sheep in our country to feed ourselves and to have for export. That is the plan. It's the first time so many animals have been brought into the country. It was, I heard that some years ago, some came in, but I can't find them. But this time, Mr. Speaker, I made it quite clear that these animals are not for eating. They are for breeding. They are for reproduction. They are to ensure that over the next 3 years, we have enough meat from small ruminants to supply ourselves. And so, Mr. Speaker, we're going to sign an agreement with these 75 livestock farmers. An agreement with them. If the animal is lost or dead for whatever reason, they go pay. They have to give an explanation. How come the animal ended? Because we want to make sure that the plan is in order. We have assisted those farmers with building the proper pens. We are training them in animal husbandry, how to take care of animals. But you wouldn't see these animals being tied by the roadside. That ain't going to happen. It's not for that. It's a special breed. So over 3 years' time, we're going to have the Grenadian spice pig, the Grenadian spice goat, and the Grenadian spice sheep. That is the plan. And the spice rum too. Mr. Speaker, so that is the plan with the animal, and I hope I made myself clear. All we have to do now is to put our talent together and ensure the plan works. And I'm going to increase the number of vets who will be attending to those animals to ensure that the program is implemented, because the plan is there and you start to work it. So apart from that, Mr. Speaker, I was saying that we had large-scale distribution of planting materials, coconut, bananas, plantain, and root crops. Rainwater harvesting, we are investing heavily in rainwater harvesting. 20 shade houses with irrigation systems are being provided to selected farmers. I said before, 21,806 kilogram bags of fertilizers were sold to farmers.
Just hold on, Honorable MP.
Farm labor support were implemented to assist farmers.
Honorable MP. I wouldn't repeat myself. Just proceed. Proceed, Honorable.
Thank you. 3 farm roads. Barrick Farm Road in St. Patrick, the one in Bacolet, and the Stanhope Road in St. Mark's. They are being rehabilitated right now. Mr. Speaker, I heard talk about Predialasani. So let me tell you. In the area of Predialasani, 6 motorbikes and 500 security cameras have been procured. And right now we are interviewing 40 new staff to be recruited to improve the effectiveness of the Predialasani program. Mr. Speaker, the machinery pool in Maribor, and we're going to make Maribor the center for excellence in agriculture in this country. The farm machinery pool in Maribor is going to open, if not this month, next month. We have 1 soil sterilizer, 30 power tillers, 1 crane truck, 1 4x4 pickup vehicle. We have backhoe loader, 2 large tractors, 2 small tractors, and spare parts. And we have 2 trailers and subsoiler. They will come to Grenada this month to complement what I've just mentioned. So the farmers will be taken good care of. You say nothing happened in agriculture? Hear what is happening in agriculture. You mentioned cold storage. Mr. Speaker, sir, the design and specification of 4 cold storage units are being prepared, and they want to use renewable energy technology. There will be 1 at Maribor Agricultural Station. There will be 1 for the Northeast Farmers Organization. There will be 1 at the Maribor International Airport. And there will be 1 for the farmers in Ladig, of course, my constituency. And that is to help reduce food waste and post-harvest loss, as well as to improve the quality of our agriculture that we produce. Mr. Speaker, our agro-processors, they too got some assistance. 200 of them received training, technical support, and upgrades in the processing facilities. 10 medium and 25 small-sized agro-processors are to benefit from equipment. The equipment already here. And the Produce Chemistry Laboratory, they too would have received some additional equipment. In the fisheries component, Mr. Speaker, you have Mr. Rennie here, the mastermind of fisheries in this country. Mr. Rennie, stand up, let's see you, man. Stand up, let's see you, man. Let's see you, man. That's the brain. You must let one people know. Mr. Rennie, stand up, stand up. We have to stand up. Yeah, man, take a bow. We purchased and distributed 120 insulated fish boxes and 90 insulated fish bins throughout the country, including Carrico. We purchased safety equipment, which will be distributed, 1 safety equipment each, after the fisher folks will have received the training. We purchased repeaters to improve fish to shore communication, but they will be available for use once the towers have been repaired because they were destroyed in the hurricane. We purchased fishing aggregate devices material, the so-called FADs, and the FADs will be constructed in the sea. And the purpose of the FAD is to encourage or to ensure that you get a catch. You'll get a catch. So we're going to construct some FADs. There is 1 in Grenville, we're going to put 1 in Sotez and other parts of the country. And 2 5-ton ice-making machines have been ordered, and they're going to arrive in Grenada this month. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, things happening. Things happening. Things happening. So, having said all that, I just want to make reference to other major projects that we have taking place in agriculture. Sometime this year, we're going to announce a Farmers Appreciation Day. It's about time we give our farmers in this country the appreciation that they deserve. With the support of the Chinese Agricultural Mission at Las Vegas, and I see Lucy is here. Lucy, stand up. You and your team and take a bow. Yes, man. They have been helping us a lot with our agriculture. With their support, we are now with the 8th program. We have prepared the 9th program. But over the 8th program, we are going to open in Maribor a tissue culture plant. That will be done later on this month. A tissue culture plant in which we're going to produce disease-free plantlet for our farmers. And that is to boost agricultural production as well in our country. So thank you. Thank you, the mission. I'm looking forward to the 9th program. And that is in addition to all the equipment that they have given to us, all the seedlings and so forth that they have given to us. So I want you to look out for that ceremony we're going to have when the tissue culture plant will be officially launched. It will be on radio, and it will be on television. It will make the news. You know, Mr. Speaker, let me just say this. Too often, the good things that we do in this country are not known and are not heard. And we don't take time off to speak about the good things that we do in this country. We want to ensure, going forward, Mr. Speaker, that the good things that we do in this country are widely broadcasted for everybody to know, to see, and to learn, so that when you come to this parliament, you're not speaking with your feelings. You're not being normative, you're being positive. That's what the economists say. Normative economics and positive economics. Normative economics is based on what you would like to see, or what I tell you. Positive economics, and I'm a positive economist.
Yes.
It's based on the numbers. You could see it, you could feel it, you could touch it. Good? So we go broadcast. We go broadcast it. Mr. Speaker, we are working through our cannabis committee. We are working to take to our parliament a bill to decriminalize marijuana in this country. And I see the secretary of the committee is here. Please stand and take a bow, Mr. Noel. Take a bow. So I'm lying. I'm not lying. I'm speaking the truth. For everything that I say, I could point to you. Speaking the truth. Speaking the truth, Mr. Speaker. And that will be a major development in this country. It will be a major development. So the bill, the policy, has already been approved by the cabinet. The bill is being prepared right now by the Ministry of Legal Affairs for the decriminalization. I use the word decriminalization, not legalization. Legalization is a different story. It will come down the road. But decriminalization bill is being prepared. And when it comes to the parliament, my friends, I want you to listen. Because I will champion that bill in the parliament. So I want you all to listen and be part of the process. And don't go and speak about hearsay and they say. You must be here. Be here. So you can get the facts. So when you speak from the point of view of information. You get it from the horse's mouth. Mr. Speaker, we, in 2024, we would have established a land regularization program. And the purpose of that program is to give people in Grenada who have crown lands, who are living on crown lands, but they have no paper to show. Some of them have already paid for the land, but they have no title deed. They have no plan, and they have no title deed. Some are paying, and others are there with no title deed. Our aim, Mr. Speaker, is to regularize them. And regularize them simply means that we're going to give them the plan and the deed in their hand, which says that they own that piece of land. Yeah? And with that ownership of the piece of land, they can improve the economic situation. Because they can now use that piece of paper and go to a financial institution and get a loan to build the house that they live, to build a proper house that they're living on, or to educate the child, or to open a business. Good? That's what you refer to as economic independence. So, and I mean, there are a lot of people that get in Grenada. The government gave them the land. Government said to them, go and steal it. Take that piece of land. But they give them no title. If you have no title, you can't do nothing with the land. So, Mr. Speaker, hear this. The first batch, about 60 people are going to be receiving the plan and the deed for the piece of land that they've already paid for sometime early next month. And I asked the Prime Minister, I said, Prime Minister, I want you to give them the plan and the deed from you. They must receive it from you. So the people in Lakalom, we're coming for you. And those who are all over the country who are on government crown lands, we're going to give you your title deed to your land very, very soon. So you can feel good about yourself. Of course, Mr. Speaker, we are holding discussion to develop a very strong poultry industry in Grenada. The fundamental problem with poultry in this country, we already have two big poultry producers in Grenada and a large number of smaller producers. We want to be able, by the year 2030, to have at least 30% of the market for poultry in Grenada, because we consume a lot of poultry in this country. The problem with poultry is the price of feed. That is the problem. The price of feed. The price of feed is excessive. And what we're doing, Mr. Speaker, is that we are trying our best to see how we could bring down the price of feed so our farmers can compete and produce and compete with the imported poultry products. So we're working on that. So doing all these things, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to move on. I was told I have not much time left, because we have a lot to say. So when people come into this house and say nothing's happening in agriculture, you see what happened in agriculture? And I ain't done yet, you know. I ain't done yet. Under the Ministry of Economic Development and Planning, as part of the policy and legislative agenda, we completed the review of the 2017 Statistical Bill and Regulatory Framework. We completed National Strategy for the Development of Statistics, and our aim is to transform and transition the Central Statistical Office into a National Statistics Institute. Good? So we're going to make it into a statutory body. We have allocated $325,000 US for scholarships for young Grenadians who want to study economics, study mathematics, study econometrics, and study statistics. That is a grant. All right? The cabinet approved it already. The Ministry of Education is going to implement it. $325,000. Each Grenadian can get up to $50,000 US grant to go and study as part of our drive to build our statistics department. 34 officers will benefit from training in advanced Excel. 12 IT and survey staff will be trained in a new statistical application. 3 officers from our unit will be trained by the UNCTAD in trade in services statistical information. And we have over 30 Grenadians right now who are well trained in post-disaster needs assessment. So when next hurricane passes, we have the people here already who can conduct the assessment for us. Isn't that wonderful? That is our round of applause. We're fine. Yeah, man, that is our round of applause. Mr. Speaker, we've completed the census, and our population now stands, based on 2022 figures, our population now stands at 109,021. 54,542 are male, and 54,479 are female. Our population grew by 2.2% in 2020. Mr. Speaker, could I ask for another half an hour? Mr. Speaker, I just that. I'm allowed to do that to these people, to our people. I know, Mr. Speaker. Give me an hour, Mr. Speaker.
Listen, Honorable MP.
Yes, sir.
According to our standing orders, you can't be granted more than 15 minutes. You've asked for 15 minutes at the beginning. I now grant you 7 minutes.
No, Mr. Speaker, then I know.
I now grant you 7 minutes to finish.
I think I want to give him, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, our economy has been growing. Our inflation rate, Mr. Speaker, is 1.07%. You're talking about prices are high. Our CPI, which is the measure of prices in the country, it is 1.0.
Honorable, may I interrupt you? I think there is a misunderstanding here. When the bell went, the bell meant you have 10 minutes more.
Oh, 10 minutes
so
more.
In effect, you now have 17 minutes.
Right,
is that clear?
Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you. And this year, we are going to undertake some more data collection on the creative economy so we could measure the contribution of the creative economy to our gross domestic product. Mr. Speaker, we have completed the tourism satellite account. And that tourism satellite account measures the direct contribution of the tourism industry to our GDP. And the figures is saying that tourism contributes $957 million to our gross domestic product, which is 31% of our GDP. And I just want to add very quickly, Mr. Speaker, that in 2025 we are going to continue with the Community Tourism Grant Funding Project, where we give up to 75,000 EC dollars to people, to Grenadians who want to enhance the tourism project. So all you have to do is go to the ministry, fill up a form, you get approved. I think last year, how many did you give last year, Minister of Tourism? I can't remember, but I think when I was Minister of Tourism, I know I gave out 25. 25. And in 2025, we increased the budget by 100%. So it's $2 million now we have to help our local people to build up, to develop the tourism product. And just to add in the creative industries as well, we have a loan grant scheme at the Grenada Development Bank. But we have registered 600 new creatives this year. And the loan scheme, the grant scheme is available for creatives who want to build on the creative industry. In the area of cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, I just want to mention briefly that we have completed a white paper to give productive cooperatives an act that is separate and apart from the financial cooperatives. Right now, they're under one act. But productive cooperatives are different from financial cooperatives. Yeah? Financial cooperatives are things like the credit union. The act that governs financial cooperatives can't govern the productive cooperatives. They are different. So we are looking at giving the productive cooperatives a different act. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to turn to the rural economy and what we've been doing in the rural economy. Mr. Speaker, we have two main projects in the rural economy. The Basic Need Trust Fund, which is a grant from the Caribbean Development Bank. We are in program number 10, and Climate Smart Agriculture Enterprise Development, the SIDE. To start with BMTF, we are working on completing 3 major projects. The reconstruction of the Bonnet Bridge, it is 85% complete. By the end of this month, it should be completed. The renovation of the Victoria School for Special Education, it will be completed this year by June. The Block 5 in St. Dominic RC School, that too will be completed this year. Mr. Speaker, things happening. Yes. Things happening. In 2025, we are going to start the BNTF 11, and we have asked for projects for BNTF 11. So all ministries who want to submit projects to BNTF, you can do so now, because we have another grant to start implementing for BNTF projects in 2011. As regards SIAP, the Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Program, just let me say to you, Mr. Speaker, that this program seeks to improve the livelihoods and resilience of beneficiaries by accessing new jobs, startups, or consolidating businesses and adoption of climate-smart agricultural practices. Adoption of climate-smart agricultural practices. That's the way to go these days, because they are being affected by climate change, yeah? And therefore our farmers must know what are these climate-smart agricultural practices and how to implement them. Are we talking about that? But let me say this. This climate-smart agriculture practices, Mr. Speaker, it is so important that this year we put $1 million in the budget, because I want the whole Ministry of Agriculture to go to the seminar, the one-week seminar organized by CARICOM on CARICOM agriculture. It's a CARICOM agriculture seminar. In that seminar, we are going to learn about the latest developments in the agricultural sector with a major focus on what are the climate-smart agricultural practices that we must know and we must implement. So I'm putting a warning now, right now, Mr. Speaker. So come September, the Ministry of Agriculture would be half full, because the staff would be attending that seminar in St. Kitts. We budget for it. So when we travel abroad, we ain't traveling just so. We're traveling for knowledge to bring back to our country so we could better develop our agricultural sector. And I already tell you, yes, I told him, because we already received the correspondence from CARICOM, get the staff in place, prepare the staff. We're going to St. Kitts to learn about these climate-smart agricultural practices. Our extension officers must know them, our farmers must know them, and our farmers must practice them, so when the next hurricane passes, Mr. Speaker, we could deal with it. We ain't going to suffer all these losses anymore. Good? So, SIAP has 3 components: business development, climate-smart agriculture, they have it too, and enhanced direct funding. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say to you that 480 people benefited from the SIAP program in 2024. So let me tell you, as of September 2024, 92 local farmers and medium-sized contractors were trained. 52 in St. Patrick's, 15 in Kareku, 12 in St. John's, 12 in St. George's. Good? They trained in how to bid to win. Bid to win. So it's a workshop that assists them in knowing how to do the bidding process, how to bid for a project. Good? So yes, we had this year, under the community tourism funding project, 15 got approved, each received $75,000 each. Things happening. Things happening. A lot of things happening. Let me tell you. 327 beneficiaries access grant financing for their businesses under the SIAP. 92 beneficiaries access business grant funding to develop their businesses. 40 beneficiaries started business operations in various sectors: manufacturing, poultry, agribusiness, health and wellness, animal husbandry, among others. 66 beneficiaries who access grant financing received training in risk management, business continuity, contingency planning, costing and pricing, record keeping, payroll administration, packaging and labeling, inventory management, preparation of tax documents. So we're only giving you money. We're teaching you how to manage. We're teaching you how to manage. And we're giving you after-sales service as well. Good? Under the climate smart agriculture, Mr. Speaker, 337 community members, 218 male, 119 female, including 98 4-H students, receive climate smart agriculture awareness sessions. 143 beneficiaries receive climate smart agriculture fishing extension support services. 17 beneficiaries, both farmers and entrepreneurs, received marketing support. 666 climate smart agriculture grants were completed, and 1 climate smart agriculture 4-H shade houses that commenced in 2024 at the St. Mary's Irish School in Lafayette. It was a big program. It was a big session. Good. And going forward, Mr. Speaker, under the climate smart agriculture infrastructure, we have irrigation and farm road access. Good. We have tender documents prepared for irrigation for Conference, Lapotre, Shambo, Bella Road, Limle, and Dumfries in Carriacou. Mr. Speaker, we completed the Granton Farm Access Road. I was there. Me and Minister Ron Redded, we opened that road. And Mr. Speaker, when we opened that road, you know what happened? The road, nice. You fancy it. After everybody was paid, we had nobody on the road. After everybody was paid, Mr. Speaker, we had a savings of $800,000. You know, so I started to think, I say, $800,000 savings, and everybody get paid? We didn't make no change to the document, no correction, the roads, everything, but it was paid. So $800,000 savings. What might have happened to that savings? The closing framework, Mr. Speaker, we have done work on that as well. We have implemented the Boys to Men's program. We held 10 weeks, over a 10-week period. That program, there were various topics including gender-based violence, respectful behavior, and coping skills. And 17 young men between the ages of 12 to 18 were supported in St. Patrick's. Good? We're doing things, Mr. Speaker. The Rural Development Unit, it provided support to 3 major components under the Enhanced Direct Access Project. And that project is funded by the Green Climate Fund. The Grenada Community Development Agency, Grenada, we spent $652,000 to construct an additional level of the building in Maki, and that will be served as an emergency center. The program for adolescent mothers, we enhanced their roof at a cost of $716,000. TAMCC, we fixed their roof for them. Good. The Grenada School for Special Education, we are also fixing their roof for them. Good. And in 2025, Mr. Speaker, we have a number of projects to be implemented, both of the business enterprise development and, of course, on the climate smart agriculture. So, Mr. Speaker, what I want to say to you, I just want to elaborate a little bit more on that hydroponic project, because I remember some time ago, the Minister for St. Mark's asked about the project. So let me tell you about this project. The objective is to introduce modern innovations in agriculture at an early age. 15 schools in Grenada and Carriacou are going to be part of that program. Good? Each school receives a hydroponic system with a planting capacity of 300 plants. Yeah? Technical training will be provided to the 4-H school, to the 4-H leaders, the 4-H officers, to the principals and other staff. Good? So the 15 schools, we expect a minimum of 300 children to benefit. And I want to tell you which the schools are. The schools are the Woburn Methodist School. These are from St. Mark's. You listen to me. Thank you. You've been well informed, MP. It's the South St. George Government School, the St. George's Methodist School in River Road, the Constantine Methodist School, the Happy Hill RC School, the St. Peter's RC School, the Bonner Government School, the St. Patrick Anglican, the Hermitage Government School, the Tivoli RC School, the Parkhill Government School, the Bosgrove RC School, the Munich RC School, the St. Timothy RC School, and the Mount Pleasant Government School. Things happening. We're doing things. We're reaching the people. Direct. We're reaching the people.
All that percent max.
So, Mr. Speaker, I want to say this to you. In March of this year, SIEP will end. Good? But we're going to replace SIEP with a new program, with funding from IFAD and with funding from FAO. Good? And that new program is called Resilience Integration Program Promoting Environmental Sustainability, and the initials are RIPES, RIPES. It is the same staff that we have at SIEP that will continue to implement this program. And of course, we do have a number of programs to be implemented there. So let me move fast, Mr. Speaker, and speak about the blue economy. We're going to create a new ministry, which is called the Ministry of the Blue Economy and Marine Affairs. And I will be the minister of that new ministry. And the permanent secretary is going to be Mr. J. Van William. J. Van, stand up, man. Take a bow. Good? We have our staffing in place. Good. 5 minutes, please.
I can't. You need to wind up.
So let me wind up.
I can grant you any more time.
So let me wind up. So why not, Mr. Speaker, let me just say a few things about my constituency. For my constituency, St. Andrews Southwest, and I must thank the people because they like me and they support me. We had 20 planned office sessions, meetings. Good? Apart from the numerous formal and informal community interactions with constituents. 80 constituents were seen during those planned office sessions.
Honorable MP, you need to just wind up.
So I'm winding up.
No reporting.
No more reporting. All right, Mr. Speaker. Good. So, Mr. Speaker, let me wind up by saying this. I want to end my presentation, Mr. Speaker, by leaving you with one word. One word. One word that can transform societies and improve the lives of all Grenadians. One word that can change the world. One word that we must all embrace because it's good for us. One word that must be placed at the service of humanity. Mr. Speaker, that word is ideas. Ideas. This government, Mr. Speaker, is a government of ideas. New ideas. And action. That's why we're going on. Vision with ideas. And action. And so, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity we have to bring new ideas to this country and to transform Grenada into a peaceful, meaningful, developed nation where other peoples of the world can be proud of and we can be an example for others to emulate and to follow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.